Life is a collection of moments, big and small, the good, the bad, and the ugly. They all add up. The truth is, these snapshots of your life are what make you into who you are. How we choose to accept our circumstances and move forward is what builds our character. In my case, I've learned that life is not always easy, and there are some days that leave you scarred, broken, and even hopeless. But these days and these moments are the ones where you decide whether to give up or keep fighting. I used to see myself as a victim, but now I see myself as a survivor. In my nearly 20 years of life, I have experienced many hardships, but I would not trade the life that I have for anything. The battles I've gone through have made me into the person I am today. The first few years of my high school career, I had developed an eating disorder, as well as some less than confident mindsets. And this was a result of many toxic relationships, type A personality, and a little bit of bullying here and there. It wasn't until junior year, though, that I learned what darkness really felt like. Like a snowball rolling down a mountain, my life spiraled out of control. So fast and reckless, taking from every corner of my life. Forced to watch the world around me collapse. I was a spectator in my own life. And it wasn't just the watching it happen, but it was that every time I reached out to stop it, it was just far enough out of reach that I had to watch it slip from my fingertips. Every time. So I began going to counseling, and that was fine, but I also turned to more alternative forms of therapy. I began harming myself, restricting my eating, even drinking. When my mom found the scars across my body, she began sending me to counseling more frequently and locked up every pill, blade, knife, and drug in the house. I felt like a child, I couldn't even shave my legs without having my mom dig my razor out of the safe. So one night, I was invited to a party. I saw an opportunity, and this was a chance for me to slip out of my problems for a night without all of the talking. My mom was so excited that I wanted to leave that she let me go. So I grabbed a friend and we went. But what few people, including my mom, ever knew was what happened that night. I laid on the couch in the basement, alone, in and out of sleep. A boy from one of my classes approached me, but he asked my friend if he could take me upstairs so that way I could lay down. My last memory was being carried up the stairs as I tried to force the words, "No, and I want to stay," off my numb lips. I was laid down, to which I fell back asleep. And I woke up, God knows how much long after, with him on top of me. I was raped. And I couldn't do anything to stop it, so I laid there, prisoner in my own body. Time moved on, and the world just got darker and darker from there. Thoughts swirled in my head day in and day out. My notebooks became filled with letters I never sent, and my journals for therapy just became compilations of sad poems. All the pain, hurt, and anger, and loneliness that I had been feeling the last few months just built up. I thought about ending my life many times, but it never ended up working out. There was always issues with fear or timing. Then one day, I gave in, and I gave up, and I quit. My mom found me in the basement, pills in hand and a knife at my side, scissors at my side. On Sunday, January 12th of 2018, I was taken to Cincinnati Children's Hospital, where I was stripped of every piercing, piece of jewelry, and even hair tie from my body in order to make sure that I was not a harm to myself or others. I was wanded and I was searched, and then I moved into the room that would become mine for the remainder of the visit. I remember watching my mom and watching the tears roll down her face as I answered every question that the social workers and the doctors asked me. Whether watching the pain in her eyes made a pit in my stomach that I'll never forget. That day, I was clinically diagnosed with major depressive disorder and anxiety disorder. You know, it was odd hearing my diagnosis. Both soothed and frightened me all at once. It calmed me to know that it wasn't my fault that I was the way I was. But it also made me feel really alone. I had never known anyone else with these disorders, so I felt like no one understood. It was scary at first. I was asked to go to an outpatient care facility for 4 weeks, which I said no. I was also told to begin taking medication daily to help. All of a sudden, I had this new routine and all these new people in my life that I wasn't used to, and I even had family calling me every day to tell me they loved me. It wasn't until I stumbled across a Bible verse, though, that it all kind of hit me. It said, "The pain you feel now does not compare to the joy that's coming." There was a reason that I was still here, and it was because I wasn't done yet. I had a life to live and a purpose to find. And it was in that moment that I went from a victim's mentality to a survivor's, because I stopped waiting for my life to change, and I created the change I desired. Living with depression and anxiety has been hard, and the road to recovery has never been easy. And even today, I still struggle. But think about everything I would have missed. I wouldn't have graduated, went to college, fell in love, met my favorite people in the world, and found joy that I had never known. I know it's not always going to be smooth sailing, but that's okay, because life's going to knock you down. You just have to decide whether or not to get back up. Thank you.